they start to get worse again. This one, however, just seems to revolve around nightmares, which I've been not really talked about. Yeah, I haven't really talked about it at all on YouTube. But this time, I had one that maybe, like just recently, the most recent one, today. Because as you know, I'm a night owl, and so, okay, the nightmare, it's starting to really, really scare me, because I've tried to go to many people about this. Not one thing, not even hypnosis, is helping with. I even purchased one of, I purchased an MP3 by Steve G. Jones, and he's like maybe one of the best hypnotherapists that there are. And it was his session on night terrors. And I even tried that, and it seems like it didn't do anything. So recorded sessions, in-person sessions, advice, anything I could ever get my hands on, not one thing has helped. But now to my point. Well, actually, first it would be the story. Because this nightmare that I had, the reason I'm pointing out that I had this certain nightmare was because it may be the worst I've ever had. And it's like a chain for, I don't know, like, for a certain amount of weeks straight, I would just have nothing but nightmares. And recurring nightmares, like, they would revolve around certain things, but this one, I don't know, this one just stands above any others that I ever had. I was at my grandma's house. Okay, this isn't a dream, this isn't real. But at least I think. And I know this may seem a little bit out there, but I feel like I might have been really physically attacked. But, okay, back to the story now. I'm at my grandma's house. It starts as I'm waking up strangely in her bedroom. I wake up on the left side of her bed, my grandma's bed. And so, okay, since, okay, she has like a 3-story townhome, I'm going downstairs, and it's like early morning. For some reason, she has, I don't know, a light on, and it's fully daylight outside. But get this, I remember every little visual detail of this dream, almost everything that everybody has said. See, my uncle and my grandma were there, and my mom was there, and I think my dad had gone out to do something. But I had gone into the kitchen to see maybe if I can get something to drink, and then, of course, like, my mom just comes in the kitchen and says, I forgot if she said that it was either her and my uncle or her and my dad, but from what I remember, at first it started out she was saying that her and my uncle were going somewhere and wondering if I wanted to go with them. And of course I said yeah, because like, even in real life, you know, naturally I would want to try to go somewhere to just be able to do something, because I don't do anything. So in the dream, you know, I guess that was just reflecting off of that reality, saying that, but okay, enough about all these extreme details that don't make any sense. But okay, I go with my mom and whoever it was. Actually, it ended up being my dad, but in the beginning she said my uncle. I don't know why, because my uncle had gone off and done other things in the morning. So we go for this road trip that seemed like it was for 3 hours. And you gotta think, okay, this was in New York. This was at my grandma's. It started at my grandma's. And so we traveled to I was debating whether or not to say the name of this place or not, but, okay, the location of this place that we were going to, see, I didn't even know where we were going. I was just going along for the ride. I didn't care where we were going. And nobody told me. So, we get to this place in what seemed like a 3-hour drive after a 3-hour drive. And I recognized this building that looked like it was hundreds of years old. It was like really, really, it was abandoned, and beside of it was another smaller building along with a restaurant. The restaurant was still open. See, I don't even think the restaurant exists where this place is, because this is a real place. I've just been having these fantasies in my mind, in reality, that I want to go and visit this place because I know it's haunted, but I also heard it's infested with dangerous spirits, which is why I was always very cautious, even though I still wanted to go and see what, just kind of a ghost hunter type thing, but I would know to be careful. But in the dream, that's where they were taking me. So we get to it's a town called Bethany, New York, which is in Genesee County. It was an old insane asylum, and for maybe a couple of months I've in reality wanted to, because I'm from New York, I wanted to maybe see what was there and see if maybe these spirits that these other world-renowned paranormal investigators have witnessed and found and captured EVPs and stuff, and because I'm so interested in the paranormal. But back to the dream. I am with my mom and my dad. We're in this restaurant, which I'm sure probably doesn't exist, near this building, but in the dream it was next to the building. Actually, before we went into the restaurant, we went into this smaller, old, really, just, it was that, an abandoned part, but it didn't seem like it was part of the building. But now, I think otherwise, because now that I'm trying to analyze everything, because everything's so fresh in my mind, I'm just kind of waking up from it a few hours ago. I start to call out to maybe whatever spirits could have been in that asylum that I didn't think I was part of, in part of the building just yet. I thought it was just maybe another abandoned section or something. So I start calling out to see if maybe anything is there. I go off on my own, of course, because I wanted to see if, like, I didn't want somebody to try to come up behind me and go boo, or, like any mythical ghost stories, and they want you to believe, but to make sure that none of that was going to happen, I went off by myself, calling out if anything was there. I didn't get any answers, so, like, my dad insisted that we go to the restaurant that was not across the street, but kind of neighbor to it. So, having this really strange feeling that I may have opened the door to something, I go into the restaurant, and before we even sit down, something very strange happens. And I'm gonna leave that to the next video, so you'll have to wait until part 2. So this is to be continued as we walk into the restaurant. So stay tuned.